at this cutie. Gosh. Right, hey guys, this is a bit random. Don't mind my food stained self, but I just want to talk about, I feel like just doing a series, just talking about giving the Holy Spirit full access. So I'm going to call this all access pass, because something God's been speaking to me about is the fact that so many of us, me in particular, but he was saying it about me, and I'm just believing that this is for so many other people as well, it can serve as an encouragement, that so many of us give maybe the Holy Spirit partial access, and we think that that partial access is actually full access. So by partial access, I'm going to talk about in relation to a home. So it's like we give the Holy Spirit enough access to seem like we're inviting him in. So just like a guest comes into your house, like you give them full access maybe to the living room, the kitchen, the dining area, the main area of the house, the area that doesn't really require any doors to access apart from the front door. So it's like we give the Holy Spirit access to the kitchen, the dining, the living space, but when it gets to those secret places like the bedrooms, like the hidden cabinets, like the dusty room that has all that junk, you know yourself, you know that room that you have in your house that you just like put all the miscellaneous goods in there, you don't know where to put that stuff in your house, so you just chuck it all in this spare junk room, chuck it all in there, hope nobody opens the door when visitors come, right? So we give the Holy Spirit access to the main pretty areas that we can tidy up and make all nice and pretty. But it's those doors that are like kind of have the hidden things behind them. The doors that perhaps we don't even know are closed. They're hidden and secret cabinets in our lives that we don't actually give him full reign and full access to, right? So he's been ministering to me about that, and he's been speaking to me about giving him a full access pass to my whole life. And I'm like, you know what, God, like you see everything. I've been on this earth a hot 25, almost 26 years on Sunday. So you've been here infinitely. So clearly you know more than I do. Clearly you see me better than I can even see myself. So obviously you see things in me even right now that I think I'm good. I think I am walking in alignment. I think that every portion of me is like, oh, I'm good now. Like, you know, God's delivered me from this. He's freed me from this. But God knows those secret passageways, those secret basements, those secret attics that even we are not aware of. And he's so loving and gracious that he opens those doors up. If we welcome him in and if we give him that full access, he opens those doors up and addresses them at the right time. So today I just wanted to share about what happened, an experience I went through. So I faced a scenario. You know, I really feel like this is a time of like deliverance and clearing and retraining our minds, reshaping our minds, just in preparation for everything that God's about to do with this revival team that is going on. If you have not jumped on the train, jump on the train, jump on the bandwagon. God is doing a new thing this spring and beyond. So don't limit it to spring. He is doing it. He's starting it right here, and he's just continuing to escalate his revival thing. So but in order for that to happen, he needs to clear out the junk that's in our rooms, the junk that's in our hearts, the junk that we are limiting him from receiving access to. Ooh, okay, baby. This season is going to be called Full Access Pass or All Access Pass. And I'm pretty much just going to be talking about how to give the Holy Spirit access, how to give him full access to your life as I'm walking it, as I'm learning it myself, because I think all of us need it. Like, you can think that you're walking free, but you're still harboring stuff, you know. Yeah, so I was going to say, yeah, you think that you're walking free, but you're still harboring like residue or residual stuff. So I shared a post about, you know, when God sets you free from a bunch of stuff, when he delivers you from stuff, how it's the equivalent of him kicking out squatters from your house. So imagine you're living in a house and you've got some squatters in some of the back rooms, and you're like, look, I've tried everything to get these guys out and they're not budging. But when God delivers you from a thing, whether it's an immediate deliverance, like someone laying hands and you're like, oh, you fall out, or, you know, the continual mind renewal that is always a part of deliverance, which is probably the major part of deliverance, mind renewal. Because it's easy, who knows, it's easy to get prayed for and fall out. But if you get back up and continue on in the same patterns, then nothing has changed. So you need to get up from that floor and actually go through a process of mind renewal after you have been delivered from a thing, because we are often so used to partnering with the enemy so much in areas. So let's say, whether it's a generational habit, generational curse, whether it is just harmful systems of operating, when the enemy attaches onto that thing, we get so used to partnering with him in that area that even when God removes the spiritual tie and the spiritual attachment, our behavior, our flesh still is used to operating in that pattern. So that's why we need mind renewal to retrain ourselves, for God to retrain us how to walk properly. So anyway, so when God frees us from these things, from these squatters, these enemies of progress that try to take up all of our rooms, whether it is anxiety, depression, rage, lust, all that stuff that are trying to take up spaces in our house, that are cluttering the space, making us feel heavy and anxious and like we can't even function properly in our own home, then it's like he gets rid of them, right? But the residue of them can still linger in the place. So if you guys have seen anything or read anything or heard anything about squatters, like, you know, when there are houses, like abandoned houses, squatters like to inhabit empty spaces. They like to inhabit empty and unguarded spaces. So if there is just a house that no one seems to be monitoring, squatters will get in that house and they will stay in that house and make themselves at home. Then if people come and then let's say the police come, they're driven out, but the residue of them still remains. The house is filthy, the house is messy, it's dirty, it's got all this stuff piled in there. So the house needs to undergo a cleansing process, a cleaning process, a deep clean, a deep transformation. And that's the same thing the Holy Spirit needs to do with us. So this is a series where I'm going to be talking about giving the Holy Spirit full access, and I kind of want to talk about how to give him that access to clear out the residue of the stuff that he's freed us from. So yeah, jump on the train, and I'm going to call it All Access Pass. So yeah, that's it. Peace.